Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Taryn. Let's have a chat about Masters 25. So Masters 25 released on MTGO yesterday, and boy was I having a blast pulling two Jace the Mind Sculptors on stream. However, the matches themselves, boring war of attrition battles with incredibly fragile 2-card combo pieces. It seems to be a race to the bottom for speed, and the cards don't really seem to have much synergy besides a few, and the cards picked for each set makes you scratch your head. This means that the person with the most removal and low to the ground threats basically wins the match. While this is normally the case for every draft set, Masters 2017 and previous cube matches are far more explosive with bomb after bomb. This means that the people who are drafting Masters 25 are here for more than just the draft. They have to be. They're here for that sweet Jace luck. But it's Jace or bust for the most part, and that's because the set has several puzzling choices for commons, uncommons, and rares overall. Yeah, Tree of Redemption for Innistrad. Morrow has stated this on his Tumblr that this was a last-minute replacement. But for what? Snapcaster Mage, Liliana the Veil, even Olivia Volderan would have been a better pick than the Tree at Mythic. But this isn't just Mythic slots. There appears to be a weird trend throughout the entire set. Once you get into the nitty-gritty of the set, you start to see that this sort of nonsense plagues the set. Murder of Crows and Fiend Hunter are other cards from Innistrad. But we don't get Delver of Secrets and Invisible Stalker? Those are common and uncommons respectively. Even Unburial Rites would have been a better pick here, since there seems to be a sacrifice sub-theme with the ghouls. This extends beyond even the Innistrad picks themselves, but we'll stop there. From a drafting perspective, the set is unbalanced, making rares either win cons or absolute wastes of time. Chalice of the Void and Pact of Negation are great cards for Legacy. But what business do they have in draft? Most of the time Chalice will sit in your sideboard, and Pact is dead until turn 5 since we have nothing to combo off of it. This leads me to think that, well, why have a draft format at all? Clearly these cards are printed in this set for the reprint stock and economic swelling. Jace the Mind Sculptor appears in the set to strictly help reduce the price of Jace in the secondary market. But in draft, if he survives for more than 2 turns, the guy wins the game on his own. Conversely, Blood Moon in draft is a card that you want to pass always, because very few players will have more than 1 or 2 non-basic lands. It's draft. You're trying to make a balanced, fast, powerful deck. People will pick Blood Moon in Cube or something because the sets have way more non-basic land choices. We have a total of 14 in the entire set, 8 of which are rare, so that means you'll likely never pick Blood Moon in draft. So what's the purpose of it being in this set? Well, it's a 20 or so buck card, so why not? And that feels like the reasoning behind a lot of the cards, intentional or not. Jace and Imperial Recruiter are here to help facilitate inventory and reduce prices. Great. Triskaidekaphobia is here because Tree of Redemption is here, I guess? Do you see what I'm getting at? There seems to be this double agenda behind the picks in the set, and it's fairly obvious to see. But Taryn, you might say, draft is about commons and uncommons. Rares just enhance the deck. And sure, you're right there, so let's look at commons and uncommons. The best 2 cards, common and uncommon, in each color are as follows. For white, Pacifism and Sword to Plowshares. It's not even close. Blue, Mana War and Murder of Crows. And it's sad to say blue gets the shaft on next to everything else. Brine Elemental is another good one, but that's about it. Everything else is either a counterspell or boring conditional effects like Horseshoe Crab and Retraction Helix. For black, Murder and Ravenous Chupacabra. Black seems to be the obvious best color besides green here. For red, we have Shriner's Outrage and Lightning Bolt. Typical burn spells. And green is Woolly Luxodon and Iwamori the Open Fist. Big dumb creatures that die to black spells. So to break it down, we have black-white removal decks being the top of the heap unless players in the draft pool overlook picks like Ghoul or Vampire Lacerator, which again are black. Even the Assembly Worker deck is here to bulldoze people who let someone draft that nonsense. To me, the reason people draft is for fun, synergy-ridden decks that allow for a lot of tomfoolery. And while we do have a handful of those kind of synergies, the pool for Masters 25 just races to the bottom and follows the strictest bread guidelines you ever did see. Bread standing for bombs, removal, evasion, abilities, and dirt. So the draft isn't bad so much as it isn't very interactive, which makes for boring play. And while there are fun things to do like Retraction Helix and Horseshoe Crab, picking those over real value creatures is likely never a good thing. So that's draft. Let's move on to the monetary value of the set. This set is set at the MSRP of $9.99 per pack of Masters 25. Out of the 15 total mythics, only 7 are valued at or above $9.99, 2 of which, Jace and Recruiter, are sure to decline in price due to the spike in inventory, though Jace will likely hang up there in the $60 to $70 price range. So if you're buying a box, you're getting 2 to 3 mythics. Over half of them aren't worth the pack they're put in. Great. Out of the 53 rares, only 10 are at or above $9.99, meaning that out of your 24 booster packs in a box, again, way over half of them aren't worth the packs they're put in. This includes cards like the Filter Lands, which are just barely hanging on to that $10 price. I think they'll probably dip between the $6 to $7 price range soon thanks to this reprint. The only bomb rare of the bunch being Rishodon Port, which is again more due to inventory than need. Moving to commons and uncommons, you have 9 valued at or above the $1 range, one of which being Street Wraith, which is played heavily in Modern. While you can nickel and dime your way to break even on Masters 25, 25, you shouldn't have to. This is a box that's meant to celebrate 25 years of Magic. You either hit it big or you don't hit it at all. It's just sad, really. The poor monetary value means that if you buy packs, you should only draft with them and not expect to pull anything of note. And if you buy a box, maybe hold on to that for a few years, wait for a price increase after they've run out of print, and resell for a 20% markup at least. So the packs aren't that great for drafting, and they're really not that great for the player who wants to get paid or have a value pack. Modern Masters 2017, this is not. But is it as worse as Iconic Masters? I can say without a doubt there's more here to like than Iconic Masters, but not by much. The real reason to buy into Masters 25 is to buy singles from a secondary market, and that's only because of cards that will fall in price thanks to the reprints. Imperial Recruiter, Ensnaring Bridge, Filter Lands, etc, etc. Jace will still be an arm and a leg, but maybe not both arms and legs if you know what I mean. And cards like Chalice and Blood Moon will likely hold their current prices or swell to them in a month or so. But Terran, you tell me, Masters 25 has a lot of nostalgia in it. Well, okay, that may be true, but for who? Nostalgia is a scary word to use when you're dealing with a game that has players popping in and out of existence for 25 years. Time is a factor with Magic, and just throwing cards into a set from the past doesn't mean people will automatically love it. Savannah Alliance may be a hugely nostalgic card for someone, but thanks to power creep, it's a joke common that I will probably never pick and draft. Triskaidekaphobia might be a living meme when it was printed, but players that draft this won't be winning any matches anytime soon. Not to mention both pieces of that combo are rares, meaning you'll likely never draft into it. Maybe in sealed if you're lucky? How about cards like Supernatural Stamina and Thresher Lizard? Are we supposed to feel nostalgic about cards that were released not even a year ago? I think not. So nostalgia, does Masters 25 have it? Yes and no. It's the same problem here as with everything else. In trying to balance the set for draft, they had to cut corners on nostalgia, reprints, and pricing to make room for cards like Lull, Timberpack Wolf, and Treasure Keeper. 3 cards that only really work in draft fairly well under the right circumstances. Putting Filter Lands are great, but I have no memory of those cards as they're not even played in Modern, so those just annoy me. Putting in Tree of Redemption over Snapcaster Mage or Liliana infuriates me because those cards are an ultimate flavor win while also being amazing. And putting in Jace the Mind Sculptor without a single Eldrazi in the set confuses me. I get it, everyone hates the Eldrazi, but not putting one into the set seems odd. They're a big deal in the story, aren't they? Seems like even with the hate, they should have had a place in the set. In the end, I'm left to wonder what Wizards was thinking. Previous Master sets, barring Iconic, is at least fun to draft, explosive even, and fun to pull rares because packs at $9.99 were offset by amazing rares and mythics. Masters 2017 had a similar list of rares and mythics being at or above $9.99, but they were so far above that it even made buying boxes worth it. But here, I recommend buying singles and that's it. Do not waste your money on this set, and draft only at your own expense. While I did draft 2 Jaces in my own draft pool, that's pure luck, and we saw little else the rest of the draft offered. Master sets all have gimmicks, and nostalgia was won by proxy, not on purpose. They normally opted to go for reprints and balanced gameplay only, not just try and fit everything possible into a draft set. Masters 25 tries to do 3 things and does none of them very well. So let's hope Masters 50, if we even get there, is much better. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video, of course, if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, of course. We'll have more content like this going forward. I really do hope to have more in-depth kind of essay style content like this going forward, and I hope you guys do like that too. But as always, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.